Today we're going to be looking at the steps of mitosis, how mitosis works, and etc. for those things. Some of you are probably asking, well, what is mitosis? Mitosis is the process of how cells divide. To give you an example of mitosis to the extreme, we're going to talk a little bit about Wolverine, the hero from the X-Men, as well as how a lizard grows back its tail. Both of these processes involve mitosis. They're very similar to how if you get a cut on your forehead, it's going to heal just the same. Let's take a look. In the comics, there's a certain superhero known as Wolverine who has amazing regenerative powers, as seen by this video. He's able to heal himself awfully quickly, just like you are, only at a rapid rate. This is also similar to how lizards can grow their tails back. But the question is, how is this possible? We all grow back, but why is it faster than others? The process that's occurring is simply known as mitosis. Mitosis is the process by which your cells divide and replicate in order to heal themselves. When you cut yourselves, the process of mitosis will occur and allow the cells to replicate and divide, thus giving you brand new cells to help seal a cut or replace old or dead cells. Today we're going to look at mitosis and all the different steps that are involved with it. Mitosis. Remember, normal cells or somatic cells have a full set of chromosomes. Normal cells are things like your skin, liver, and heart cells. They can contain a full set of chromosomes, which for humans is 23 pairs. One pair comes from your mom, and the other pair comes from your dad, thus giving you 46 total. Every normal cell has this, except for gametes, or sex cells. When somatic cells replicate, both cells need to have a full set of chromosomes. When somatic cells replicate, each cell needs to have a full set of chromosomes, otherwise problems can happen. That means we have to be able to make healthy cells, taking the 46 total chromosomes, or 23 pairs, replicate them, and then divide them between the two sets. We're going to see how this works in mitosis. What is mitosis? Mitosis is how somatic cells replicate. The end result is two daughter diploid cells. Mitosis ensures that we can take one cell, have it divide into two identical daughter cells. Interphase. The DNA has replicated but not formed chromosomes. Chromosomes are nice packages of DNA, so currently it looks like this. In interphase, you need to make sure that both cells are going to have a set of DNA. This means that you have to replicate the DNA before you can move forward. In interphase, the cell looks normal, but what's going on inside the nucleus is all the DNA that's inside of it is being made into another copy, so both cells can have it in the end. If we were to make a representation of it, interphase would look something like this, where the DNA is slowly being replicated and brought together to be packaged into chromosomes. Prophase, the DNA forms into individual chromosomes. The cell looks like this. Chromosomes are nice little packages that the DNA can be transferred in. Chromosomes are tightly spun around DNA. They form a nice little X. In prophase, the chromosomes are created and the nuclear envelope begins to disintegrate. This is an indication that the chromosomes are eventually going to be pulled apart to separate sides of the cell. If we were to look at an animation of it, we would see it here, where the chromosomes are wound and the nuclear envelope begins to disintegrate. Metaphase, the chromosomes line up in the middle and spindle fibers attach. In metaphase, the chromosomes line up in the middle. This ensures that when they're ripped in half, each side will get an individual set, thus making them a diploid again. The spindle fibers will literally pull these apart and ensuring that each cell is going to be happy. If we were to look at an animation of this, we would see it here, where the spindle fibers are attaching to each side of the chromosome, one for one cell and one for the other cell. They are then tugged on, and eventually the chromosomes will separate and begin to be pulled to opposite sides of the cell. Anaphase. The chromosomes rip apart and are pulled to opposite sides. Looks like this. In anaphase, the chromosome copies are ripped apart, thus making it so each cell is going to get the exact same amount, or 23 pairs on each side. This makes sure that both cells will be diploid and have a healthy number of chromosomes and be able to function. If we were to look at an animation of this, it would look like this, where the pairs of chromosomes are separated and drawn to each side. This makes sure, once again, that each cell will have 23 pairs of chromosomes, a healthy amount. Telophase. The nuclear envelope begins to develop around the DNA. Looks something like this. In telophase, each of the new cells will begin to form a new nucleus around the 23 pairs of chromosomes, thus creating two healthy cells. Cytokinesis. The cells split into two daughter diploid cells. looks like this. In cytokinesis, a cell membrane begins to split, creating two individualized cells. It's a fascinating process, and from there, the organelles themselves will begin to split. And you'll have two healthy cells. Given enough time, your cut will heal, and it will be like nothing ever happened at all. If we were to look at an animation of it, it would look something like this. Here, we've seen the chromosomes are split. The telophase is beginning to form the nuclear envelope. From there, cytokinesis will begin to form. The cell wet membrane begins to get what's called a cleavage furrow at the top, begins to separate, and voila, you now have two identical daughter diploid cells. So now you've seen the steps of mitosis. Now you're going to be able to exactly identify how your cells replicate. Say you get a cut or something like that. Now you can be very fancy in front of your friends, as if you get hit in the head or something like that. You can say, oh, my mitosis will take care of it. The next is a little dance that I want you to see that some students in a different school had come up with. If you can identify the steps of mitosis that they're doing, you'll be okay. Have a good one, guys.